Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back, welcome back. Yes, episode 8. You heard me correctly, episode 8 from the Fringe podcast, coming to you live from the Sonoran Desert. And I hope everyone had a great weekend. Hope y'all got to play some golf. I got out after a 2-week hiatus, shot a personal best. Pretty happy about that. Back's a little stiff right now, but we're going to move through it. We had a pretty big weekend in the world of golf, so let's get into this. We had the Open, British Open. I'm going to call it the British Open. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's politically correct or not, but I'm calling it the British Open. We had the British Open this weekend, and it was everything you'd expect a British Open to be. It was links-style golf. It was pot bunkers. It was weather. It was wind. And Brian Harman was our winner. He finished the tournament 13 under par. He beat the field by 6 strokes. Sepp Straka, Tom Kim, Jason Day, and John Rahm were all tied for second place at -7. And this guy pretty much took the reins early on in this tournament and did not give them up. So congratulations to Mr. Harman. We're going to be talking a little bit more about him and what I saw this weekend in a second. But it was a big weekend for the guy. With this win, not only did he win $3 million, congratulations, he gained entry into the Open Championships until he is 60 years old. He is now automatically qualified for the next 10 British Opens. He's qualified for the other 3 majors, which is the Masters, the PGA, and the US Open for the next 5 years. And he has a 5-year membership exemption for the DP and the PGA Tours. So congratulations again to Mr. Brian Harman. As you would expect, the golf media were shoving Rory down our throat. Most of the time, Rory was sitting about 9 shots back, at least leading up to Sunday. And all we could hear about was Rory. And I had to mute it at some point during the broadcast and just watch the golf, because I don't want to hear about how great Rory is when he's got now officially a 9-year major drought and he's 9 shots off the lead. There's other guys we can be talking about, other players that we can spotlight here, but God, they just want to shove Rory down your throat. The fans out there at Royal Liverpool, quite obnoxious to Brian Harman. There was a lot of chirping going on to him. He was asked about it. For the most part, he just responded in saying that what they were saying was unrepeatable. But he did talk about one guy on Sunday. He had just made a bogey during his round on Saturday, and some dude looked at him and chirped at him and said, "Hey, Brian, you don't have the stones for this." And he told the reporter that asked the question, he goes, "That guy helped." He said, that brought him back into reality, snapped him back, and reminded him that he is good enough to win this. And after that, Brian just continued to do his thing. So thank you to that young lad for chirping at Brian and helping the American win. Over for the ladies, we had the Dow Great Lakes Bay Invitational. This was a team event. It's very similar to the PGA's Zurich Classic. The team of Cheyenne Knight, Elizabeth Sokol won. This was Cheyenne's second LPGA win and Elizabeth's first. So congratulations to those ladies. I believe their team name is Elizabethan Knights, I want to say. Pretty clever. But anyway, congratulations to them. Then we had the PGA DP World Tour's alternate event for those that weren't playing in the major. It's the Barracuda Championship. It was alternate scoring as well. Instead of going on a basic stroke score, it's based on if you earn certain points for a birdie, certain points for par, bogey, whatnot. And Akshay Bhatia won this event. He is 21 years old. This is his first PGA win. He took a lot of heat because he played his first PGA Tour event at 17. He decided to forego college and college golf and jump straight into the pros. And it looks like it's paying off because he's always in the mix every single week when he plays. 21, he just got his first tour win. So congratulations to you as well, good sir. that's a quick rundown of what happened this week. I don't have anything else, I think, to add to that. So I'm going to move on.
Oh, yeah. Stay there.
Okay, Fringers, I want to talk about Brian Harman. Do we even know what we just witnessed? The greatness that we saw this past weekend at the British Open? At the British Open. This isn't hyperbole. Seriously, I'm going to break this down. What we just saw out of Brian Harman was greatness. There's no other way to say it. First of all, I want to address these clowns over at the Foreplay Pod, Country Club Adjacent, and NBC. These guys, after the takes that they had this past weekend, should not be allowed to talk about golf without putting a disclaimer on the screen that they are satire from here on out. Foreplay kept just pushing Rory, talking, taking little jabs at Brian Harman, but the moment he wins, oh, congratulations. Like, come on, guys. Y'all spent all weekend talking trash, and now you want to ride for this guy? Don't even. Then you got the clowns over at Country Club Adjacent. Yeah, they were cute when they first started out doing these back-off challenges and chirping, but then they started just doing some real stupid stuff on their channel, and apparently some of these challenges that they've given themselves with drugs have really affected their mental capacity, because this weekend all I saw out of these guys were, oh, this is so boring. And they kept making fun of Brian Harman, talking about how many times he's waggling the stick. And it was just poor form. If you don't understand golf and greatness when you're watching it, don't comment on it, because you're a bunch of buffoons. You hear me? Y'all are just a bunch of buffoons. That leads us to NBC. And Brian Harman has a very methodical pre-shot routine on the tee box, or pretty much wherever. He waggles his club quite a few times. However, he was never called for pace of play violations or anything like that. So personally, I don't see it as a big deal. Every player has a pre-shot routine which helps them get into the zone. But here we are, NBC decided to troll Mr. Harman and start putting up a waggle counter on Sunday. Maybe it even started on Saturday, about how many times this guy is waggling his club before he hits it. Poor form. Would you do that to Rory? Would y'all have done that to Jon Rahm or Tiger Woods or even Ricky Fowler? No, you wouldn't. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves for acting that way and for disrespecting not only Brian Harman, but the British Open and the world of golf with your antics. Again, y'all are supposed to be professional golf journalists and a professional golf media outlet. Act like it. Seriously, this is why people are moving to LIV, because NBC and the people that cover the PGA want to talk about how sacred the game is, but then when someone that wins the damn tournament that they don't want to, or is not sexy enough or appealing enough, they want to sit there and troll them. Y'all are a bunch of clowns, and you should be ashamed of yourselves. Sorry about that little rant, but let's keep going on here because I've got more. There was a Brandel Chamblee, yes, him, on Live from the Open, had a comment the other day about Rory. And I know I want to talk about Brian, but this will tie into it, I promise. They were talking about Rory losing. One of them commented that now that it is a 9-year drought, Brandel said it's like he's chasing his first major, but he's past his physical prime, and the weight of the world is on his back. Well, Rory's only 34, and they kept talking more about Rory and how he's got an insane grind out in his work ethic, that he's in really good physical shape. They alluded that he had the body of a Greek god, but Brandel went back to say that, a lot of these premier soccer players, their physical peak is between 26 and 28. And you'll see a lot of these major clubs start releasing these players after they've hit that peak. And that's where he was alluding Rory is. Then they said, well, Phil won all of his majors past 34. And like I mentioned, Rory's 34. So I say this to circle back to Brian Harman. Brian Harman is 36 years old. He's been a pro since 2009. The dude is only 5'7". According to Brandel Chambly and some of these other people on the Golf Channel, he's been way past his prime forever. But yet he won. Not only did he win, he smoked the field and just abused that course. It was quite a feat to see. But how did he do it? This was his first win since 2017. Like I said, he's 36 years old. He's 5'7". He's not a physically imposing human being. He's ranked 140th in driving distance for 2003 with an average of 294. However, he's ranked 8th for driving accuracy. He's tied 29th for greens and regulations. And he's sole second place for scrambling. That's how this man won this tournament. No, it wasn't sexy. It wasn't big bombs down the fairway. And, you know, he wasn't John Rahm or Scotty Scheffler or any of these other big names. But he played solid golf. And in Europe on a link-style course with the big pop bunkers and the rain and the wind, that's the kind of golf you need to know how to play. This man, while he's not long off the tee, his accuracy is on point. And then around the greens, his short game was even better. And then putting. Here's a stat for you. He went 59 of 60 putts within 10 feet. He made 59 of 60 putts within 10 feet. He went 45 for 45, 5 foot or less, and was 14 of 15 from between the 5 and 10 foot range. There were no 3 putts all weekend long. He also only hit 3 of these world famous pop bunkers all weekend long. That's how this man won this tournament. That's how he earned the ranking of number 10 in the world now. Golf is not always glitz and glamour. You know, there's the saying, a lot of us golfers know it. You drive for show and you putt for dough. That's what Brian Harman did. Rory will drive all he wants. Can't putt. That's how Brian made that $3 million this weekend. So put some respect on Mr. Harman's name. Respect the game of golf, because the British Open is always a true test. Golfing ability. It's not the Parkland style courses that we have in America or in other parts of the world. Links courses are open. There's a lot of thick rough. They got bunkers. There's rain. And they had all of that. But that's how this man won the tournament. He won it by playing golf. You know, there's other clubs in the bag, not just the driver. He won it with his putter. He won it with his short game. He won it with his accuracy. I mean, it's sick. It was sickening to watch social media and NBC, how they just disrespected this guy all weekend long. And then when he won, everyone wanted to turn around and, you know, be up there and give him congratulations. Like it's, I don't really know how else to say it, man. It was just, It was a poor display by the golf media, and I don't understand why these guys are held in the esteem that they are. But nonetheless, they are, and I guess we have to live with it until, you know, Liv picks up. But that's my rant. That's what I really wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about Brian Harman. I wanted to put some respect on the man's name, because what we watched this weekend was greatness. It was a true example of how the game of golf is played. And that's what I love about the game. You don't have to hit the longest drives, but if you're accurate and you know your bag, just like I say about the LPGA players, then you can win tournaments and you can make a living out of this and make a name for yourself. So congratulations to Mr. Harman. What a weekend. I hope I think he is a shoo-in for the Ryder Cup. I can't wait for that. But that's the rant. I'm sorry if I got a little agitated, but God, this weekend just really irked me. So let's move on. I am proud to announce that the From the Fringe podcast is brought to you by Shank It Golf. That's right, we've got the Shanks. At Shank It Golf, you can find golf polos, bags, and accessories, and let me tell you, they are some of the hottest ones on the market. So visit shankitgolf.com, use the promo code FRINGE15 for 15% off your order. Or better yet, you can jump over to the Instagram page, give us a follow, and click the link and do your shopping from there. That is shankitgolf.com. Yes, we at From the Fringe have the shanks, and we want you to have them too.
Oh yeah.
Stay up. Stay up.
Stay there.
Okay, so this coming weekend, what's next? The LPGA has their fourth major. We can expect a stacked field for this one. It's the Evian Championship in southern France, right off of Lake Geneva. So if you're watching this like I will be, not only will you be watching some good golf, but the views should be absolutely stunning. Brooke Henderson is the defending champion, but quite frankly, with this field, it's anyone's tournament. To be honest with you, I mean, I have some favorites, but predicting this stuff, I've come to find out is a crapshoot, honestly. I mean, just look at what happened at the Open. You never know whose turn it's going to be on any given weekend. The PGA Tour is going to be having the 3M Open at TPC Twin Cities. The defending champion is Tony Finau. Now, this is going to be an interesting tournament. The field is not stacked. However, there will be two leaderboards to be watching this weekend. One, the tournament leaderboard. Two, the FedEx Cup standings leaderboard, because this is one of two remaining tournaments for players to get to either 70 or under for the FedEx Cup standings and to get into the playoff chase. And it's a new playoff format, bigger money, so that will be interesting to watch as well. I do know Tony Finau and Justin Thomas will be in this field. Justin Thomas sits at 73. He didn't make the cut last week at the Open, so he's going to be looking for a really good performance so that he can make the cut for the playoffs. Other than that, that's all we got going on this weekend. I'm playing golf this weekend. I hope you are. I'm playing one of the bougier courses out here in Scottsdale. I try to play at least one of them during the summer months when the demand is not that high and the green fees are lower than normal. But remember, Shank It Golf. Fringe15's the promo code. Grab you or a loved one some gear. Check us out on Twitter, FRMTHEFRINGE From the Fringe. Instagram and Threads is at from_the_fringe. Until next weekend, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have a safe weekend. Be good and hit 'em straight.